Getting on a cruise ship is always fun. I always like embarking. I don't care how people complain, it takes too long. You have to do all these checkpoints. It's always exciting. It's always a positive experience for me, no matter what. Nothing's gonna spoil this for me. I enjoy. I know what's happening next, so I'm not worried about it. If they, tie you up at all these new checks with the COVID thing, you have to prove you don't have COVID and all that kind of stuff, and prove you had the vaccinated. I think in Florida you can still get on a ship if you haven't been vaccinated, but you have to have the more expensive tests done in order to get on. You're walking down these hallways. Once they release you to walk down these hallways, this one, since we're done the checkpoint, we started walking down the hallways. Sometimes on some cruises, you wait in a room. They got a waiting room, and then they call you up by section. Like they get you in a boat and say you're section 51. You have to wait till 51 calls. They usually call like 5 or 6 numbers at a time, and then you get on. This one, you just do all the checkpoints. And maybe because there's so many checkpoints now, you got to go through metal detectors and all that, like you're getting on a plane and all that kind of stuff. But then you head up this gangway, and this is a long gangway. Most of the cruise ports aren't this long of a gangway, but you got to walk up this with. But I ain't no hurry. I know what's happening up ahead. I'm just excited at this point. This actually isn't my footage. I just got it from someone else on the same cruise. They were our neighbors on the cruise ship, and so I got footage from them of getting on the cruise. So the people in front of me are not. Those are my neighbors while I was on the cruise, but I got their video footage, and so I used it because I didn't actually film getting on. I got a lot of stuff I'm carrying. I don't want to be filming. A lot of people, they just put all the stuff in their bags and get on. I always have a few things. I got a CPAP machine I got to carry. And I got to carry another bag that has all my medicines in it and my wife's medicines, stuff like that. So I'm not usually taking a video while I'm getting on. But I'm pretty excited at this point. And you're kind of twisting around through these glass gangway, I guess they call it. But, and you're getting closer to the boat. See, there's all the luggage being loaded. We got on at noon, so most of that luggage was already loaded on the ship. These people got on a little earlier, so then you're this close. Next thing you know, you're over this last little gangway, and then they welcome me onto the ship. Say hi to you. Sometimes they want to take your picture right there. They didn't do it this cruise. They always want to take your picture. I think this is a picture of people over here, maybe. No, they're guiding us along. And then you get in, you're on the atrium. This is the lobby floor. This is where guest services are. This is where the excursions are. There's also a bar on this floor. And as you can see, there's a big atrium. They got it Christmas decorated. I think right after Thanksgiving, they decorate it for Christmas. And then they leave it up halfway through January. So if you take a cruise in early January, there'll be all the Christmas stuff up still. They got one of the bands kind of setting up to play, welcoming people on board the ship. A lot of people will stay down here. But at this point, you're welcome to go to certain decks. You can't go to your rooms yet. They ain't got their rooms ready. They have to turn around the entire ship because they got a whole cruise that just got off, and then they got a cruise coming back on. So they got to get all the rooms cleaned and then get all your luggage to your rooms before they allow you in your rooms. They're in with my first beer. And so I made it up to the Lido deck, and that's where we always go. Me and wife always go up to the Lido deck, and we like to go to the back of the ship. This here is the atrium. That's where you first come onto the ship. That's kind of looking down from the second floor, looking down. Some ships, the atrium goes all the way up to all the floors. This one only went up 3 floors and then a little bit, but this is a big open area, and there's a bar there, and they do a lot of trivia contests here. And this is it looking from the 3rd floor down. You can kind of see the bar, I guess. And the bandstand, I'm not sure. It might be behind the bar. But that's the atrium. And that's where you go to get your excursions, where you got to go to put money on your card. And if you have any problems with your room or anything like that, that's where you go. And so I don't spend too much time there, but I do good go to the trivia contest they have down there. This here is the Lido deck. They got a movie. They show movies up there on the screen. You can kick back in the hot tub or whatever and watch the movies. This is the back area where I usually had my drinks. The back pool area. It's not as crowded and it's a lot nicer. They have the pizza place back here. This is the main Lido deck where most people hang out. This is a more crowded area. It's got that cool slide back there, and a lot of things. The two bars on each side. One's called the Red Frog, and the other one's called the Blue Iguana. One's tequila-based drinks. The other one's rum-based drinks. Plus, you get any beer there, and you get other drinks at either one. So they just have their specialty drinks at that bar, and the frozen margaritas. I have what there. I don't really hang out at this part of the ship too much. Go through there time to time, but go there to go through there. Go to the Serenity deck, or the Serenity deck is where they don't allow anybody under 18, so it's kind of like you don't have kids running around. But usually, the time of year I go, there ain't that many kids on the ship anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. So I don't really hang out there that much. I hang out mainly the Alchemy bar, which I'll show you later in the bar at the smaller pool at the other end. This is one end of the Lido deck, and then there's the buffets and the indoor area, and then you go out in the back. The back area is more hangout. That's where I did a lot of my artwork and stuff like that too. This is the main buffet, and it's a good buffet. It's not a like country buffet. It's a really top quality buffet. A lot like the buffets you'd find in a casino, except for maybe not as many choices as a casino buffet, but the quality of food is there. It's good quality stuff. You want to try everything, but you can't, or you'll get yourself sick eating too much. But that's the main buffet, and this is breakfast. They also do breakfast at the buffet. I always go to the dining room, so I didn't do any. I did one breakfast buffet here. All the rest of them I ate in the dining room. I think the first morning we ate the buffet, but other than that, we ate in the dining room where they wait on you. And here's a Mongolian grill. They have a Mongolian where you pick everything, put it in a bowl, you hand it to them, you tell them which sauce you want. I got Szechuan sauce, and they cook that up, put it back in another bowl, and you take it and eat it wherever you want. And this is Guy's Burger Joint, which is very popular. Guy Fieri designed it and came up with a menu. And man, they are really good hamburgers. There's always a line, but it's worth the wait in the line to get this stuff because it's good. They also have a blue pizza place. This is a pizza place. They have a Blue Iguana um, place too for Mexican food as well as the bar. But this is a pizza place, which is back in the back where I hang out usually on the ship when I'm on the Lido deck. And they also have a sushi. It costs you a little money, not too expensive, like $5 for a plate of sushi. And they have more expensive sushis there, but it's pretty good. And they make it right there for you. And there's a little bit of lime, but not too bad. This is the fun shop, and I really don't buy anything at the fun shop. I don't think we bought anything this time. We bought a few things. They had jewelry and perfumes and handbags, and because it's all duty free stuff. It's basically like a duty free shop. They have a candy store that they also have there, and they have a duty free liquor store there too. But and cigarettes. You can't have the liquor if you buy it. You only get it on the day you get off the ship. But it's pretty nice. That's the fun shops. That's on the third level up on the atrium area, and uh, I don't know. They have three or four shops. You can buy a Carnival shirt. You can buy snorkel stuff you want there, and they got uh, just little touristy things and duty free kind of stuff, jewelry and watches and uh, designer clothing. I guess I don't know. I don't really hang out there. It's not my. I don't like to shop on the ship. I like to shop in the ports. So I do buy stuff, but in the ports, not on the ship. Really, a lot of people do. It to each his own, I guess. I didn't have to wait too long for my room to be ready. Pretty much after I finished my beer, my room was ready. And of course, we got a balcony this time, which I really love the balconies. But that's the balcony. It's not too big, but it's big enough for me and my wife to enjoy it. We had breakfasts out here. We'd have a few drinks at night here, and that's the room. and it's a pretty nice room. The balcony rooms, you get that extra couch there, and a lot more rooms. But you don't need a balcony room to enjoy the ship because you got all the pools and decks. You can hang out all over the ship and view the ocean from the ship. So it's not a necessity to have one. It's just something me and my wife like. It costs a little more, about $500 a person more, but it's what we enjoy. It's what we like. This is a Blue Iguana place you can get Mexican food. They got like Mexican street tacos and burritos and nachos and taco salads, and you can get breakfast burritos there in the morning as well. I did that one morning. And this is a Blue Iguana bar, which is just adjacent to it, and this is where they have tequila-based drinks. And this is a Red Frog pub, which is a pub that has the rum-style drinks. And this is the outdoor one on the Lido deck, right across from the Blue Iguana. It's a rum bar, and this is a comedy club where you can see upcoming acts or whatever. And some of them are pretty funny, and some of them aren't. It all depends on your taste and comedy. Some of them can be real crude and offensive to some people, but they're pretty funny as far. This skybox. This is where I watched Georgia and Alabama play football. Second half of the game because the first half of the game I was having dinner. And this is my favorite bar in the whole place. This is the Alchemy Bar, and it was on the deck with the casino on it, and it's pretty cool. I love that they have these really cool drinks with herbs and spices in them, and different concoctions, and some of them are really tasty. Some of them are like, yeah, but that's a great place. So from the Alchemy Bar, you walk down this hallway, and you'll run into the casino. And every ship has a casino, and that's a big part of cruising, although I'm not into it. My wife does a little bit. She just plays blackjack and does roulette sometimes and slots. I don't do any of that because that's just not my thing. I'm just not. I don't like to throw money away. I like winning money, but I just don't like losing money. So I never gamble. I just never really want to just get that habit, so I don't gamble. I do other things instead. So going from this hall, you'll go past the Red Frog pub, and then there's a coffee bar, and at the very end of it, you hit the atrium, the third floor of the atrium. And this is a coffee bar. If you're into coffees, they make espressos and lattes and all that kind of stuff, and cappuccinos. I like cappuccinos, so I had me a cappuccino the very last day. There's always a line there, though. There was always a line every time I went by, so I didn't really want to wait in lines when I was passing through. Usually going down this hall, I'm going from one place to another. So this is the fifth floor, and this is the best way to get across the ship, either Lido deck or the fifth floor. This is looking down at the Lido deck. So you kind of give you a little bit of what being on the ship is like, but you really have to get there to really experience the sounds and the smells and the sights and then all the different angles and stuff. It's an experience, and I'm sold on. I think as far as vacations go, it's the best deal out there. It's a floating hotel resort. It's all inclusive and most of it, and you pay for a few things. You definitely pay to gamble. You pay for the sushi. If you want oysters on the half shell, you pay for that. If you want lobsters for your dinner, you'll pay for that. But everything else is pretty much free and paid for. So, you know, uh, what you pay for a cruise, it's well worth it. So if you're thinking about going on a cruise, Carnival's really a good one to go for your first cruise. That or Royal Caribbean. They're very similar. I don't like the way Royal Caribbean does the dining. They don't have assigned seating. I like having assigned seating. I know where I'm sitting. I just go into the dining room and sit down there. And I did forget to show a picture of the dining room, so let me show that. This is the dining room if you want the real dining experience, which I enjoy. I figure you pay for it anyway. You might as well go to it. But they have things a buffet doesn't offer too, and so it doesn't sit on a steam table like buffet food. It's really good food. I mean, they don't give you huge portions, but they do give the food is excellent. And so there's two dining rooms. There's this one's the Washington dining room. And there's also the Lincoln dining room. This one's the back of the ship. Lincoln's midway through the ship, and there's two dining times. There's the early dining, and then there's the late dining. So early dining's at 6. I think late dining's at 8 or something. And they clean all up. You have an assigned table. The first night they take you to your table, and then after that you know where your table is. You just come in. People just kind of wander in, and the waiting staff is all the best there ever is. I mean these people work their ass off to make sure you have a great experience. And I always tip them. I throw them a $20 bill. There's two people that worked our table, and I gave them both a $20 bill. Plus the person that cleaned my room, and gave him a $20 bill too. Because they work their butt off. They deserve it. And, you know, and so, but I really like dining in for dinner. And you can go there for breakfast. Breakfast, you don't have assigned seating. They just seat you as is. And we ate breakfast there a couple days. And but sometimes if you don't feel like going to the dining room, you don't have to. If you look at the menu and say, well, I don't really want any of that, you can go to the buffet and eat. And they got guys burgers and all the other stuff, and the Mongolian wok and all other things. You don't have to eat in the dining room, but I do enjoy that. So that'll give you an idea of what it was like on the Carnival Valor. Each ship is decorated a little bit different, but they're all pretty much the same. The smaller ones don't have as many things. Like the smaller ships we're on didn't have the sushi, and but they all have the pizza place. They all have guys burgers. They all have the blue iguana. Um, they may not all have Mongolian woks in them. Some of them have even more stuff. This one actually had a steakhouse, but we never went to that. We figured we already paid for dining. I'm not going to go to the steakhouse, spend $50 to eat there when I can eat. They have steak on the menu. It's not a big steak, but it's a steak, and so they have stuff that's on the menu every night, and then they have stuff they have 4 items that are new every night, and the desserts are a couple desserts I have every night, like ice cream and a cheese plate. I usually have the cheese plate, but I did have they had the baked Alaska, and oh my god, it was delicious. Everything they had was delicious. There was nothing left on any of my plates when they took them up, you know. And you can have more. You can have two entree items. You can have two main course items. You can have two desserts if you want. They don't care. It's pretty good. So it is kind of all you can eat. You just order more and kind of look like a glutton if you're ordering like a bunch of plates. But you know, I I really and I've got another cruise booked out of Mobile, Alabama is my next cruise, and that's coming up in October. So it's quite a ways away, but you know, this was my seventh cruise, I think, and we finally got the gold card this time, and that's the Carnival Valor, and that was my exciting time I just got over.